for the punk shit, for the funk shit, for the dog shit, for the go dumb shit. Get your gun shit, funk shit, fuck up the fuck shit, with the dumb shit, don't give a fuck shit.
Welcome back. Isn't it great to be back after the holidays when your team is winning? Like, something about the holidays is already great, but just to add on to it when your team is actually winning. I know some people out there can't relate for reasons that I may have covered in my last video. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and do that. But we are not here to talk about losers. We are here to talk about winners. One of them being them boys in Texas. Yup. The Longhorns went out there. We did it. It wasn't pretty. I was stressed out the whole time. I looked over my balcony a couple times. After we missed that field goal at the end, well, we didn't miss anything. After Auburn missed that kick to seal the game, let's call it what it is. It definitely had me asking a lot of questions. But nevertheless, we lived to see another round, and we have our rematch with Ohio State from 2009. Oregon, I don't know what the hell happened. They look like, well, championship Oregon, honestly. The story was the same. I mean, they really look like a shell of themselves out there. And truth be told, I mean, people are going to say what they want about the college playoffs, but I think one thing no one's going to admit off rip was the 12-team playoff. I think it exposed the teams that get all the regular season hype and may have gotten into championships in past years and necessarily didn't belong. And it's given those teams who really, truly are championship built, who may have slipped up in the regular season, which you look at any sport in any league at any level, championship teams do that. College football is one of the unique sports where it was held to that standard where you damn near had to go undefeated to even get a chance. So I think what we're seeing now is great. At this point, I think teams like Notre Dame is definitely shocking the world. They're shocking me. I always have my critique of a team that doesn't really truly belong to a conference. But that's, neither here nor there. They earned their spot. They went out there and they handled business. Penn State, they went out there and they handled business. I think another thing that's also going to be brought up and looked at in the offseason is the fact that every single team with a first-round bye lost. I know going in, one thing that was kind of talked about was the teams that did have a first-round game, especially if you had first-round advantage, like, we did. I was there. I'll drop, some clips. But the teams that did have that first-round game, which I think worked in our favor, is because we got to keep our legs fresh. We got to go out there. People were still playing real-time games, taking hits, having the normal collisions, doing what they had to do, competing, and their body didn't have an extended rest where you stall people like Arizona State and their running back, Skaterboo, and Boise State, and teams like that just really, they looked like they were breaking down early. People were, getting hurt, having cramps, getting sick, things like that. It's definitely not an excuse because it's something that they would have to deal with at the next level. First-round buys are a very real thing. However, I think with a lot of changes in college football over the last few years, this is just one of those things that was thrown at them, one of those curveballs that I don't think any of the players really saw or understood the effect that it could have. That also makes me think, I know I said we're not here to talk about losers, but we got to talk about it. Every single Heisman candidate and winner got a shellacking this weekend. I mean, everybody got annihilated. One thing that they may have to consider changing is taking the NFL route, which is making the Heisman truly what it is. It's the college football MVP. You're the best player. So make one of the requirements, hey, you got to be on one of the playoff teams. And let's announce it in the Final Four round. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a player on a Final Four team, but if you made the playoffs, at least we know at some point you've competed against the best of the best. We know you've played against the best of the best because one of the requirements to get there is a conference championship. So I think that's something that should be considered. I think, and this is no shade against any current or former winner. I support everyone who's won it. I think everyone who's won it deserved it. And I think there are people who have been nominated before who also deserve it, but just it wasn't their year. It happens. However, moving forward, this is the best way to do it. I think with this new format, we're really getting an accurate feel for who are the best teams. So it's only right to give us an accurate assessment of who really is the best player. Since we are talking about Heisman, though, Travis Hunter, man, my guy. I'll keep it X's and O's first because I went to San Antonio to see the Alamo Bowl. It felt flat. I'm gonna just say what it is. Their defense felt flat. Their offense also really didn't come out there with a spark. BYU, however, I don't think they should be slept on. That defensive end they have, that guy looks like he could be a first-round draft pick. He was out there looking like one of the Watt brothers. But overall, I mean, Colorado, it looked like they were at a home game. Everybody in there was in black and gold. Everybody's rooting for Prime in Colorado, Buffaloes. BYU, they came to play. And they just looked like a team that was overall program that was just a little bit more developed. Like they came out there with that kind of swagger, like, hey, we've been here and we're not about to just be walked all over because of your hype. It kind of gave me the same vibes as when Colorado played Kansas State. No one really talks about Kansas State, who's a super supporter of Colorado, because people who follow Colorado may be Pac-12 fans or just Prime fans. But if you've been a Big 12 person this time, Kansas State is not a team to just sleep on and think, it's going to be light. You see that they lost to Nebraska. So it just kind of reminded me of a game like that where I think a lot of the hype was around this being their final game and what Prime's going to do, as well as having a lot of off-the-field distractions with the whole Travis Hunter thing. Even though he still went out there and played pretty good. Overall, I think it was just a lot of stuff mixed together, and it wasn't a very competitive game. And Travis, I mean, I've been trying to avoid doing any more videos about it because I think he's made it pretty obvious he's not going to take advice. He's not interested in any advice. However, hey, they make content, we make content, so we got to cover it, bro. The things that have come out the past week or two with, the whole them being together for 5 years, but she was in a music video 2 years ago, or throwing ass at a party 3 years ago, or in someone's house cooking and cleaning, or, had you outside of parties waiting, according to her. I truly feel like if he's made up his mind that he's not going to take anybody's advice, at this point, it is what it is. If they're gonna stay deactivated, then yeah, we gotta leave them alone and just respect their privacy. However, if they do continue to want to be influencers, then damn it, he's just gonna be an example. But as a genuine Travis Hunter fan, this is not a route I think anybody wanted to see. And I feel like she's more in his ear than anyone else. He's kind of like isolated from his family, so it's her and his brother. And I feel like when you have that type of situation, it's easy to manipulate it and tell him hey, everybody on the internet, they don't know you, they're not giving you the best advice. And he's getting to a point, like I said, he's starting to isolate himself. He doesn't want to hear it. So be it. It's sad to see because it reminds me of like a Monte Teo. He's a Heisman. He actually won the Heisman. However, Monte, well, he never even met his girlfriend. But it's just the fact that you're at that level where you're in that Heisman candidacy and everything, but your name for a moment seems to be overshadowed by a girl you're involved with. it's sad to see because these guys work so hard, and this is not something that you want to see overshadow that. However, the one thing is with Travis is you're resisting the help. So at this point, people are just gonna have to look at you as, an example, and that's just what it is. It's just what it is. But hey, do what you gotta do, bro. This is your life. And the last thing, which I have to bring it up because it's just it feels so weird the way everything just happened kind of fast, and we're still hearing stories now about it, and there are games moving forward where there are a lot of people who are in these cities. So let's just jump into it. It's this New Orleans attack with the guy who they're saying now is linked with ISIS. He drove into a crowd right outside the New Orleans Superdome, where Georgia was supposed to play Notre Dame. They're saying people from the school were also down there. Some people got hurt as well, and it just makes me wonder, like, games moving forward. I don't want to scare people, but we definitely have to stay aware on our own, because it feels like from the outside, when you start getting reports later on that authorities of certain levels knew certain things, or certain things could have been prevented, and again you hear about this on the back end, but then also in real time in some other states they got drones flying around and stuff, and they're saying don't worry about it, but we don't know what it is. I feel like we're in one of those unique times where we can easily be distracted by all the fun, all the college football that we love, all the NFL football that we love, and even the games that we love to go to. But I say this to say, keep your head on the swivel. Our next game is in Arlington. I know Texas moves a little bit different, but some states out there, y'all move completely different. There's some states out there where the only people that have guns and can defend themselves are the police. It sounds crazy, but there are really states like that. I've lived in some. So I just say, hey, everybody stay aware out there. Have fun. Hopefully your team wins. If it's my team, then I genuinely hope your team wins. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share.
For the punk shit, for the funk shit, for the dog shit, for the go down shit. Get your gun shit, funk shit, fuck up the fuck shit, with the dumb shit, don't give a fuck shit.